Can everyone hear me clearly? Good afternoon. My name is Jasveer Singh and I'm a member of the local community. On behalf of the Sikh Society of Michigan and the Sikh community of Detroit, I would like to thank you for attending today's event. The Sikh American community has been in Michigan since the 1920s and in the Madison Heights, Sterling Heights area for the last several decades. And we are gravely disappointed by the crime which brings us together here today. But at the same time, we are also humbled by the show of support from our fellow community members. The crime affects us all, regardless of religion, and it serves as a reminder that hateful, intolerant people live amongst us. But we know that is not the reflection of the people of Sterling Heights and Detroit area. This is evidenced by the fact that while just a few individuals committed this crime, there is a significant crowd gathered here today in opposition to what happened. This Gurdwara, like all Gurdwaras around the world, is open to all, welcoming people from all directions, all walks of life and ideologies. In this house of worship, hymns are sung to promote love, peace, and unity. So we welcome all of you, including the perpetrators of this crime, to visit us, understand who we are and what we stand for. We anticipate this Gurdwara to be completed later this summer, and we are hopeful that you will join us in celebrating its opening. The centerpiece of this Gurdwara is our religious scriptures, the Guru Granth Sahib Ji. The Holy Scriptures contain not only the writings of the Sikh spiritual leaders, but also those of other faiths who came in contact with. This is how we are taught that we must not just tolerate each other, but we should also admire and appreciate the diversity around us. In closing, we thank our fellow community leaders who have joined us and the Sterling Heights Police Department for their support during this situation. We urge anyone who has information about this heinous vandalism to please come forward and help us bring them to justice. Thank you, and God bless everyone. And now I would call on Raman Singh from Saldev to address you.
Thank you. Thank you to all of you for coming this afternoon. My name is Raman Singh, and I'm a board member of the Sikh American Legal Defense and Education Fund, SALDEF. Despite the unfortunate circumstances under which we are gathered, it is encouraging to have the community's support. The Sikh Gurdwara, like most places of worship, is a place where peace, love, and universal brotherhood are spread forth. To deface this building with guns and harsh words is disturbing and a commentary on the ignorance of the perpetrators. But we are all here with a common purpose, to let the perpetrators of this hate crime know that hate and intolerance of this sort are not acceptable to any of us. An attack against one of us is an attack against all of us. Whether it's a church, a mosque, a temple, or a synagogue which is vandalized, we will not and cannot stand for it. Following the events of September the 11th, 2001, Sikh Americans were targeted with hate born out of ignorance as to who Sikhs are. One Sikh even paid the ultimate price for this ignorance and was murdered in the days following 9/11. Sikhism is a distinct religion originating in South Asia, founded on ideals of equality and justice. The visible articles of faith that we wear, including the turban, are representations of these ideals. And like this great country of ours, the Sikh religion was founded on the idea of religious freedom. It is unfortunate that more than 10 years after the events of 9/11, there is still so much hate in this world. The current political discourse in this country is contributing to an environment of xenophobia, a notion of us versus them. Political candidates' misinformed statements and racist commercials exploit people's fears by using racial and ethnic stereotypes in their public communications. How can we expect incidents like this to stop when political candidates continue to add fuel to the fire? Crimes committed out of hate, such as this one, attempt to send a message to the members of a given group that they are unwelcome. But Sikhs have been a part of the fabric of this country for over a century, And although we have and continue to face instances of prejudice, discrimination, and hate, we believe that these are the acts of a few ignorant individuals. It is clear to us that the majority of our neighbors are welcoming and open to diversity. We deeply appreciate the support of the many, many religious and community organizations gathered here today. And I really do apologize if I leave anyone out, because there are so many of you here today. Thanks to the Interfaith Leadership Council and Bob Rutel who have provided incredible help and support to bring this together today. Thanks to High Saffron from the Office of Gary Peters, Representative Gary Peters. Thank you to Wisdom and Gail Katz, which is Wisdom Women's Interfaith Solutions for Dialogue and Outreach in Metro Detroit. Thank you to the Detroit Interfaith Group, to the Council for American Islamic Relations, and to Rahim Hanifa and Dawood Walid, Pastor Charles Williams II. APIA Vote has provided us a statement of support. The American Jewish Committee put out a statement immediately following the attack, and Brian Frank is here today, thank you to him. The Interfaith Center for Racial Justice, Reverend Mikhail Curl and Barbara Wojtas. The American Citizens for Justice, Prasanna Vendagam are here today. The Islamic Organization of North America, Dr. Manawar Haq. Anjali Vale and Arun Vijan from the Bharatiya Temple. Eid Alawan from the Islamic Center of America. Imam Abdullah El Amin from the Muslim Center. Song and Spirit Institute for Peace, Brother Al, OFM, Elaine Tokarski of St. Anastasia, Reverend Linda Northcraft and Ellen Ehrlich from St. John's Episcopal in Royal Oak, and Michael Hovey from the Catholic Archdiocese. Thank you so much for all of you for coming today. And I'm going to pass this on to Gail, to Detroit Interfaith, Brenda Bailey.
I am Brenda Bayless, the chair of the leadership at the Troy Area Interfaith Group. The Troy Area Interfaith Group condemns the malicious acts of destruction inflicted this week upon the Sikh house of worship, the Gurdwara in Sterling Heights. This cowardly, hateful crime has no place in this century, no place in America, no place in Michigan, and no place in our community. The Troy Area Interfaith Group, which is composed of representatives from across the world's faith traditions, stands beside its brothers and sisters of the Sikh faith, whose house of worship has been threatened and vandalized, and also beside its brothers and sisters of the Muslim faith, whose name has been written in this destructive act. We stand beside persons of all faiths who seek peace and justice. For whenever one of our neighbors is threatened with disrespect and violence, then we are all threatened. Therefore, we must come together and on this, stand as one. If we as a nation learned anything from destruction caused by prejudice and misguided misinterpretations of religious belief, it is that we value and honor the precious freedoms afforded to us in this country, freedoms granted to all citizens. Let's help protect our freedoms and rights and keep all of our citizens safe. Keep this poisonous hatred off our soil and out of our very own neighborhoods. Join us in creating something positive and noble from this deplorable act. Together, and even with greater conviction today than a week ago, we will combat such prejudiced behaviors through education, interaction, discussion, and nonviolent action. In order to protect our great, diverse communities, we ask persons of every faith tradition to speak out against hateful, prejudiced words and actions whenever they are shared, at home, in school, at work, in politics, and in our community. Prejudice don't have to be physical, vandalism or violence to be hurtful and destructive. Look around you. Do your part to stand up to hatred and prejudice in your everyday life. And then go one step further. Learn something new and true about different faiths, practiced by your neighbors who share our community. Pay attention to the news. Read a book. Engage with a person whose faith may be different from your own. Have a dialogue. Attend a community event or program. We're all different, and yet we're all the same. The Troy Area Interfaith Group often shares the fact that at least 13 major world religions recognize the concept of the Golden Rule. In Christianity, it is said, "In everything, do to others as you would have them do to you." In the Baha'i faith, it is spoken, "Lay not on any soul a load that you would not wish to be laid upon you, and desire not for anyone the things you would not desire for yourself." and in Sikhism. I am a stranger to no one, and no one is a stranger to me. Indeed, I am friend to all. I ask you to consider the ever-relevant call to action of the mission statement of the Troy Area Interfaith Group. The Troy Area Interfaith Group exists to invite all faith communities to gather, grow, and give for the sake of promoting the common values of love, peace, and justice among all religions locally and globally. We believe that peace among peoples and nations requires peace among the religions. If this unacceptable act of vandalism on this house of worship can cause just a few people, perhaps you, to rethink your own prejudiced viewpoints, or cause you to stand up for justice, then the victory is ours. We wish the best to our neighbors of the Sikh community and peace to all. Thank you.
My name is Gail Katz. I am the immediate past president and co-founder of Wisdom, and I'm reading the statement on behalf of all the women of Wisdom. The Women of Wisdom, Women's Interfaith Solutions for Dialogue and Outreach to Metro Detroit, take a stand against the terrible vandalism done to the Sikh Gurdwara in Sterling Heights. As women of many faith traditions, ethnicities, and races, working together to break down myths and stereotypes and build respect and understanding, we stand together in condemning the actions of those who spew hate and fear and who desecrate holy places. We call on people to remember the golden rule and to treat others as we would want them to treat us. We stand together to affirm our vision of a Metro Detroit community where all our diverse religions and ethnic groups are treated with dignity. Our diversity serves to strengthen our community's resources and provides an important model of cooperation for our children and others in this nation and abroad. An attack on any ethnic or religious group is an attack on all of humanity. Thank you.
Thank you, Gail. Good afternoon. I'm the Reverend Mikhail Kuro. I'm the Executive Director of the Interfaith Center for Racial Justice. I first want to just say my heartfelt sorrow to the Sikh community for the events of this past week and how disappointing it is for me to be reunited with Rahman many years ago. In 2009, we worked together to provide what we call a listen, learn, and live opportunity to learn about the Sikh community in her Gurdwara. And so to come together again and have it be over this is disheartening. I'd like to invite Susan Katula to come forward. Susan Katula is a board member with the Interfaith Center for Racial Justice. She also happens to be the president of the Sterling Heights Ethnic Diversity Committee. Mr. Iqbal Singh, a Sikh that actually was the first link to Rahman in that module, has been active with the Diversity Committee for years. Just this past January 16th, we had over 1,000 folks come together in Macomb County in celebration of Dr. Martin Luther King and his efforts for peace and justice. Just this past Friday, the Sterling Heights Ethnic Committee had their annual cultural exchange, again attended by over 1,000 people. Wonderful events pulling the community together, but unfortunately it's incidents like what happened here that remind us that there's still much, much work to do. We are happy as an organization to again be offering a module, an opportunity to learn about the Indian community as we're partnering with the Bharataya Hindu Temple in May, and we will obviously through that experience begin to educate folks a little bit also about other religions such as the Sikh religion, Jainism, and other religions that originate from India. So it is our deep sorrow that we're here. We pray to stand with you in everything that we do and hope that we can be partners and friends in building a Macomb County and region where we're all truly for justice and peace. Amen.
Good afternoon. My name is Hy Safran. I'm here on behalf of U.S. Congressman Gary Peters, who released this statement earlier from Congressman Gary Peters. I'm outraged at the senseless and reckless act of vandalism that was carried out here at what will soon be a beautiful home of worship for Gurdwara. We simply cannot tolerate intolerance. It's why in 2009, I helped pass the local Law Enforcement Hate Crimes Prevention Act into law. This important legislation protects people from violence based on who they are and has explicit protections to ensure that the law does not punish what people think, feel, or believe, but rather actions that physically harm others. It provides assistance to state and local law enforcement agencies and amends federal law to facilitate the investigation and prosecution of violent, bias-motivated crimes. In the face of this outrage comes a genuine opportunity. An opportunity for people of goodwill, people who have a commitment to diversity, and people who desire to build a progressive community, to call out hate and discrimination, to band together and to secure answers about this deplorable act and work to build a more tolerant community. A community that respects fundamental American values, one that recognizes the dignity of each person, and one that protects religious freedom. Again, on behalf of Congressman Gary Peters, my name is Hy Safran, and I appreciate the opportunity to be with you.
Good afternoon. I'm Bob Brutel from the Interfaith Leadership Council of Metropolitan Detroit. I did notice as we started that Director Dan Crickbaum is here from the Michigan Civil Rights Commission. Director Crickbaum, would you want to say a word or two?
I'll say two.
Okay, come on up.
We have a lot of good talkers here, which is great. We've got a lot of good thinkers. We've got a lot of courageous people here, and we hope that courageous people lead others to be courageous. Right now, there's just too much hate, too much distrust. We have one of the leading mayors in the metropolitan area who unfortunately is fostering xenophobia in her city. We have a congressperson who, as a political effort to get more news, he has been fostering an ad on television that is a very racist ad. And a lot of this is focused on the American Asian Pacific Affairs group. And so we reach out to our friends in the Asian American Pacific communities. They need our help, they need our attention, and we shouldn't rest with this event today. We need to do much more. When we cross all the paths that we cross with each other through our daily efforts, there's one thing that brings us all together, and that is a sense of fairness. We know that this kind of vandalism is so unfair, puts people on edge, causes great difficulty for people in their communities, and so we ask everyone, of whatever religion or no religion, we ask everyone to remember this sense of fairness that holds Americans together. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Director Crickbaum. I'm Bob Brutel, the Interfaith Leadership Council. The Interfaith Leadership Council has been out front immediately when this event occurred. The profaning of a place of worship, a place of faith, is a serious issue in these United States and in our community. It undermines the faith that is required for a community to live and work together. We need to live together. And if there is any faith in America that supports equality and the principles of religious freedom, it is certainly the Sikh community that does so. So we're here in full support of the Sikh community to let them know that their fellow people of faith in this community are fully supportive of them. They are not alone. They are not to feel like they've been abandoned by a community that would profane their building. And so I offer our heartfelt sense of appreciation that they've brought us all together today to make this statement and to make that clear. So thank you very much. I'm the last one to speak here right now as far as the prepared speeches. And so one thing I want to mention is that we'd like to be able to contact all of you who are here. So on this front table, I'm going to put a list that you can put your name on with your name and the congregation that you belong to and your email so that we can stay in touch with you, because you are certainly folks that we need to be in touch with. And we've also have, are you Dr. Hake? Why don't you come up right now? I'm sorry, I didn't see Dr. Hake before this very minute. So Dr. Hake is from the Iona Mosque and has a statement from them.
Greetings of peace. My name is Dr. Munawar Haq. I am representing Imam Steve Al-Tur from Iona, the Islamic organization of North America in the city of Warren, Michigan. We have all gathered here to assert that desacralization of a house of worship through vandalism or any malicious act is a hate crime that must be condemned by one and all. It goes against the American core values of freedom, equality, and justice. Each city in America has to embrace its growing diversity and celebrate it as strength to build upon rather than a problem to escape. Iona joins hands with those who support religious freedom, cultural diversity, and ecumenical cooperation. We ourselves have been a target of vandalism and fully empathize with the Sikh community whose place of worship, the Gurdwara, has recently been the target of desecration and defacement. Islam accepts and encourages pluralism. In human societies, pluralism means living peacefully with those who hold differing beliefs and convictions. This value inculcates the attitude of being non-judgmental and accepting people as they are. To harm, persecute, or fight against any people or group on account of their religious convictions is one of the worst forms of injustice, which is condemned in the primary sources of Islam. Iona stands for and supports the cause of protecting the right to worship and the right to practice one's religion freely without the threat of intimidation, violence, or discrimination. Let us work together for the betterment of our entire community. Let us promote non-violence, justice, and respect for all. God, the Lord of mercy, may He bless you all, and God bless America. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Hodge. All right, the last thing we want to do today, and a really important thing, is that when a sacred building is defaced and is desecrated, something profane has happened to a place that should be held in such high regard as a place of worship. And so we've asked several ministers from the community to say a prayer of cleansing for this building as representative of our desire that this be, again, a place of profound and deep worship in a sense of the holy. So we have 4 people who are going to do that. Reverend Barbara Clevenger from Unity of Farmington, Reverend Bruce Weber from St. Thomas Lutheran in Sterling Heights, Abdullah El Amin, Imam of the Muslim Center in Detroit, and Brother Al Massa from Song and Spirit. So, Reverend Clevenger, would you please start?
We come together in prayer to take the next step, and that is to see things correctly. And God, what we see is that you have brought us together. Truly, for those of us who love you, you make everything work together for good. And many of the cooperative organizations that are here today have been founded at other times in our history where there has been some pain and some hurt. And what we've experienced is that only love has lived on from each of these situations. And so we affirm and declare that from this situation, we will stand on the shoulders of the people who have come before us, and we will join together, we will rededicate ourselves, and that we will recommit ourselves to a community of love and cooperation and peace. For truly this is the time, and we are the people. It is ours to do, and we do it being honored and full of love and grace. Amen.
With God's name, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer, we witness that there is only one God, one deity over the entire creation. We witness that God has sent his messengers and his prophets with the same message, and that is the message of peace and love. We know that God comes and has many names. We do not differentiate between some call him Yahweh, some call him Allah, some call him God, some call him Dios, some call him Deva. But whatever name that you call God, we know that it is the one ruler of the heavens and the earth. And once again, we are witnessing man's inhumanity to man. Humanity having the word human in it. We pray that the people that started this, that perpetrated this dastardly act, actually look to God, look inside of themselves, and see that there is one God that has endowed all of us with the same thing. Every messenger and prophet came with the same message. That is, fighting immorality, fighting hunger, fighting homelessness. So if someone comes with a different message, if someone comes with an act that is contrary to that, they are not following the God of the entire creation. We ask them to look inside of themselves, and that God is one. He has endowed us with his spirit. Let us use that spirit to spread joy and peace over the earth, so that all of the people of God can contribute to the wonderful creation that God has made. We ask this in the almighty name of God, the most beneficent, the most merciful benefactor. Amen.
I was asked to do a prayer of cleansing. I don't need a mic or lights. I don't have a prayer of cleansing for a building, but just looking at this place, it's obvious. It's obvious that this is a place of peace. And as the community gathers together in its meditation and prayers and worship, the peace will flow from this building. Even from the mortar and metal, you can tell that. And so perhaps as we leave, just to touch this building, because this building will heal itself. This community will be a place of healing. In fact, I would suggest to you today that this place is the center of healing for Southeast Michigan. perhaps for the country, perhaps for the world. And we take that peace and that healing and that cleansing word to where we live as well. Amen.
Sisters and brothers, side by side and shoulder to shoulder, let us pray. Good and gracious and most holy one, God of all humankind, God of all nations, source of all creation. Though it is a troublesome and worrisome occasion that gathers us into this emerging house of prayer, nonetheless, it is our shared belief in you and our faith that compels us to continually give you thanks and praise. And so we thank you for gathering us into this place where an attempt has been made to profane and desecrate it. Words have been spray painted like graffiti on the new fascia of this building. Names of other religions and symbols, including the sign of the cross, have been used to communicate intolerance and perhaps even hatred. Given that this attempt has been made, and given what it might reflect, we ask, O God of all loving kindness, God of peace and of shalom, that as the winter winds swirl about this place and the snow falls, so may your grace fall upon us, fall upon this place. May your cleansing spirit heal and purify all who will call this place their place of worship, and indeed all of us your children. May we who believe in you, the one God of all, always be empowered and equipped to be instruments of your peace and loving kindness. We offer this prayer in your most holy name. Amen.
And the last prayer will be a prayer for the sick community.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀਓ, ਅਰਦਾਸ ਇੱਕ ਓਂਕਾਰ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਭਗਵਤੀ ਜੀ ਸਹਾਇ। ਵਾਹ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਭਗਵਤੀ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹੀ ਦਸਵੀਂ। ਪ੍ਰਥਮ ਭਗਵਤੀ ਸਿਮਰ ਕੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਲਈ ਧਿਆਏ। ਫਿਰ ਅੰਗਦ ਗੁਰ ਤੇ ਅਮਰਦਾਸ ਰਾਮਦਾਸ ਹੈ ਹੋਈ ਸਹਾਇ। ਅਰਜਨ ਹਰ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਨੂੰ ਸਿਮਰੋ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਹਰਿ ਰਾਏ। ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਹਰਿ ਕ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਨ ਧਿਆਈਐ ਜਿਸ ਡਿਠੇ ਸਭ ਹੋ ਜਾਏ। ਤੇ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਸਿਮਰਿਆ ਘਰ ਨਾਮ ਦਾਵੈ ਧਾਏ। ਸਭ ਥਾਈਂ ਹੋਏ ਸਹਾਇ। ਦਸਵੇਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਸਭ ਥਾਈਂ ਹੋਏ ਸਹਾਇ। ਦਸਾਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਜੋਤ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਪਾਠ ਦੀਦਾਰ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਧਿਆਨ ਕਰਕੇ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਜੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਬੋਲੋ ਜੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ। ਪੰਜਾਂ ਪਿਆਰਿਆਂ ਚੌਹਾਂ ਸਾਹਿਬਜ਼ਾਦਿਆਂ 40 ਮੁਕਤਿਆਂ ਸਮੂਹ ਹਠੀਆਂ ਜਪੀਆਂ ਤਪੀਆਂ ਪਿਆਰਿਆਂ ਸਚਿਆਰਿਆਂ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਨਾਮ ਜਪਿਆ ਵੰਡ ਕੇ ਛਕਿਆ ਦੇਖ ਚਲਾਈ ਦੇਖ ਵਾਹੀ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਅੰਡਿਠ ਕੀਤਾ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਪਿਆਰਿਆਂ ਸਚਿਆਰਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਪਵਿੱਤਰ ਕਮਾਈ ਦਾ ਧਿਆਨ ਕਰਕੇ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਜੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਬੋਲੋ ਜੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ। ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਸਿੰਘਾਂ ਸਿੰਘਣੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਧਰਮ ਹੇਤ ਸੀਸ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਬੰਦ ਕਟਾਏ ਖੋਪਰੀਆਂ ਨਵਾਈਆਂ ਚਰਖੜੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਚੜੇ ਆਰਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਚੀਰੇ ਗਏ। ਧਰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਹਾਰਿਆ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਸਿਦਕ ਕੇਸਾਂ ਸਵਾਸਾਂ ਸੰਗ ਨਿਭਾਇਆ। ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਸੁਧਾਰ ਲਈ ਕੁਰਬਾਨੀਆਂ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ। ਅਸਹਿ ਤੇ ਅਤਹਿ ਕਸ਼ਟ ਸਹਾਰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਸ਼ਹੀਦੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਪੁਰਾਤਨ ਅਤੇ ਵਰਤਮਾਨ ਸ਼ਹੀਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਸਿੰਘਣੀਆਂ ਸਿਰਕਵਾਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਪਵਿੱਤਰ ਕਮਾਈ ਦਾ ਧਿਆਨ ਕਰਕੇ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਜੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਬੋਲੋ ਜੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ। प्रथमे सरबत खालसा जी की अरदास है जी। सरबत खालसा जी को वाहिगुरु 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 चित आवे, चित आवन का सदका सर्व सुख होवे। जहाँ जहाँ गुरु खालसा जी साहिब तहाँ तहाँ रक्षा रियायत। देख देख फतेह मृद की पैर, पंथ की जीत श्री साहिब जी सहाय। खालसा जी के बोल वाले खालसा जी साहिब बोलो जी वाहिगुरु। सिखां सिखी दान, केस दान, रहत दान, विवेक दान, विसा दान, भरोसा दान, दाना से दान, नाम दान। श्री अमृतसर साहिब जी के पवित्र दर्शन इशनान। चौकियां झंडे गुंगे जुगो जुग अटल धर्म का जयकार। खालसा जी साहिब बोलो जी वाहिगुरु। सिखां दा मन नीवा, मत उच्ची मत दा राखा। आप अकाल पुरख वाहिगुरु। हे निमाणियां दे मान सतगुरु, निताणियां दे ताण, निआसरियां दे आसरे, न्योटियां दी ओट धन धन सतगुरु। श्री गुरु ग्रंथ साहिब सच्चे पिता जीओ, आप जी दे हजूर अरदास बेनती है दोए कर जोड़। करूं अरदास तुद भावै तां आण है रास। आपे जाने करे आप आपे आण है रास। तिसे अगे नानका खलै कीचे अरदास। सतगुरु जी आप जी दे हजूर अरदास बेनती है। नवे गुरुद्वारा साहिब जी दे बिल्डिंग विच सतगुरु जीओ आप जी दे प्रमुख प्यारियां ने ਅਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਕਮੇਟੀ ਦੇ ਮੈਂਬਰਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਰਲ ਕੇ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਲਈ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਬੇਨਤੀਆਂ ਹਨ। ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਮਿਹਰ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰਨੀ। ਇਸ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗ ਦੇ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਰਿੰਦਿਆਂ ਤੇ ਸਿਰ ਤੇ ਮਿਹਰ ਭਰੇ ਹੱਥ ਰੱਖਣਾ, ਤਨ ਮਨ ਧਨ ਕਰਕੇ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਚਾਅ ਉਮਾ ਬਖਸ਼ਣਾ, ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਿਆਰ ਮੇਲ ਇਤਫਾਕ ਬਖਸ਼ਣਾ, ਸੇਵਾ ਲਈ उत्साह बख्शना। एक पिता एक सके हम बारक, तू मेरा गुरहाई। सुन मीता जियो हमारा पल पल दश जासी। हर दर्शन देव दिखाई सतगुरु जियो। मेर बख्शिश करनी, सारे संसार का भला करना, अंग संग होके सहायता करनी। सतगुरु जियो सुमत बख्शनी। जो जी आप जी दे दर ते आवे सो राजी जावे। सिख पढ़दे सुनदे सरबत लाहेवंद हों। नानक नाम चढ़दी कला, तेरे भाणे सरबत दा भला। वाहिगुरू जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरू जी की फतेह। बोले सो निहाल सत श्री अकाल। वाहिगुरू जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरू जी की फतेह।
Just for everyone's reference, I was asked to give the meanings of the last few lines of the Sikh prayer, the Ardas. Basically, where we say, Nanak Naam Chardi Kala Tere Pane Sarbat Da Bala. Our first Guru Nanak, he says, all those who are bound by the name of Lord, all those who remember Him are always in high spirits, and all together we ask for the well-being of all of humanity. Thank you very much.
On behalf of the Sikh community and all the religious communities that have come together, I want to thank you all for coming. In my tradition, we say that God works in mysterious ways, and this again may be a clear example of that. So thank you for coming together here today. Please give us a way of contacting you by giving us your name and congregation and email so that we can stay in touch with you. Thank you very much.